Alright, welcome along. My name is Bosh. This is Bosh's Ableton Beginner Bits, and today we're going to be doing a video looking at how to build a digital rhythm, a digital dub track, anything like that. Think about your Slank rhythm, maybe some like Mungo's hi-fi kind of stuff. Very digital sounding dub. You doing this, we're going to use old drum machines. We're going to use the analog VST in Ableton as well, which is really good for this kind of thing. And that's going to be pretty much what we're going to do. It's going to be a longer video. I'm going to try and make the full track. We're going to return to the old format of videos because people really seem to like those longer videos. So let's get into it. Just before we get into it, I want to tell you about buymeacoffee.com/BoshDubs. You can go there and you can support the channel. You can send a small donation to me, and every donation is so greatly appreciated. I can't explain how much it means when people donate. We've had Andrew Norris has sent a donation to the channel, and he is the guy who made the plugin that I did in the last video, the Scratcher plugin. That's Andrew Norris, so go check him out. He's got some really cool tools. There's another one he's got called Dubby 2, which is a siren that I'm definitely going to have to do a video on very soon. So thank you, Andrew Norris, for the contribution. And also Rob Crowdy says the channel's very useful and fun as well. Thank you. So I want to big up Rob Crowdy as well for your support. Very much appreciated. All right, so that's Buy Me a Coffee. If you really want to support this channel, though, the best thing you can do is subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share them, comment, all the other business. I reply to everyone. So that's the best way you can support this channel. If you want to, if you like what I'm doing here. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is building a digital dub. Now, the first thing I'm going to start with is the drums. I'm going to use a really classic drum pattern and an old drum machine. I'm going to keep it really basic. I want to use one that I know has come from a drum machine. So I'm going to pick this 505 classic kit. I've already had a little play around with it this morning. We've got the classic kit in here, and I'm going to do just a pretty standard digital. I think this is the Slank drum pattern. So let's get it playing. I've got this track at 163 BPM. I'll play you on the metronome just so you can hear it. That's the kind of speed we're going at. And let's just put in a basic 2-bar drum loop with a kick and a snare. Boom, ka, boom, boom, ka. All right. Okay, now what I'm going to do first is copy this drum kit. Let's get rid of the snares, and let's copy the drum kit onto these 3 other channels. All right, so these are all the same drum kit, but I'm going to use the kick on one channel, the snare on one, and the hats on the other, just so I can still do the dub mixing. So we've got the kick, snare in the middle, and then just some basic hats. A little variation edit there for the hats, and then let's add those hats in. Okay, I'm just going to do a little bit of mixing because we're peaking on the master. Just going to pull all these down by 2 decibels, just so we're not peaking. Okay, that's our drum loop. Now I'm going to put in some percussion, but I need to find something that's got an old school like cowbell sound, like an 80s cowbell. So let's have a listen through. As a matter of fact, let's see if this classic kit has got the cowbell that I'm looking for. No. I'm going to try the 606 kit. Does it have a cowbell? Doesn't look like it does. Just need to drop this down. This one might do. That tom. Now I'm going to up the pitch. All right, and then I'm just going to record in like a little offbeat cowbell line. All right, now the next one I'm going to do is Bassline. And for the bass, I'm going to drag the analog instrument in there. You can see I've already been playing around with it there. I've got a load of open things. Now, the first thing I'm going to do with analog is strip it down back to its basic. I want a single wave, and that's just going to be a square wave. So we turn off oscillator 2. And we're left with a very basic triangle wave. Do I want a triangle or a square? Let's have a listen. Let's drop this down in the octave. Alright, that's not really doing it. Let's try the square. Alright, so let's stick with that one. Let's see how it sounds a little bit lower. Alright. Alright, so we've got a bass line. I'm going to work on the sound a little bit more just to try and get it exactly where I want, because it's still not sounding how I want it to. So let's solo this, and I need to solo my mic as well. And let's just have a play around with it as it's looping. All right, now what I'm going to do, I like the sound of it higher up, but I'm going to double it, group it, Control and G, Control D to double, Control G to group, and then I'm going to put just a sub bass with the operator. I usually would do this with all my tracks, to be fair. I would always put a separate sub underneath there, just so I've got a bit more control. Let's have a listen now. Let's have a listen to the sub on its own. I'm going to make this bounce a little bit, extend the release. No, that's too low. Needs to be there. Now I'm just going to go through and quantize, easy quantize, just straight on the bar. Control A, Control Shift and U, and I want 100%. All right, we're getting there. We've got a bass line. Now the next thing we need is a skank. So we're going to load another analog in. So I'm just trying to figure out what chords are going to work best with this bass line. So it's D, G, and A. But what's the best way I can arrange these? Can we swap that? Let's try do D to G. I think D major, G major seems to be the one. So let's find how we can lower this down to the same place as the G. So I'm going to take the G at the top of the... No, that's an A. I'm going to take the A at the top of the D chord. Let me load the piano so you can see what I'm doing. All right, you can see there. So I'm going to take the A that's at the top of the G chord there. I'm going to lower it down by a whole octave. And then the next one is that. All right, let's try that. I don't know, something doesn't sound like right about that. So I'm going to keep playing around. I'll probably speed this up until I can find the right thing. Unless the sound, I might change the sound a little bit first actually. Let's go a bit of basic. Let's try doing it the other way around. Ah, that's why. Yeah, that's going to sound better. Delete them. Right, let's try again. And then this time, I'm going to Control Shift and U to quantize, but I'm going to put it down to 80. So it means it's going to bring everything within 80% of exactly where it should quantize to. Now I'm going to put I want to set all the velocities to the same. So a lot of these keyboards didn't have a velocity control. I'm going to fully quantize as well now. All right, we've got the chords right. It's going well. Next up, I want to put in like a little melody, like a do 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 do, some like a little sort of complementary melody there. So let's go analog again, but I'm going to look for a preset this time, and let's go. No, I said I go to a preset. So let's do guitar unplugged. No, that's not guitar unplugged. What about synth keys? Ooh, maybe that. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, let's take the reverb off for now. Right, yeah. Nice. Okay. All right, yeah, again, I'm just going to keep playing the keyboard and find something that fits and sounds right. Interesting. Alright, something like that, I think. So what I'm going to do is shift my keyboard record box thing across one. So now I can press the button to record here, and we're just going to record something like that. Here we go. Alright, these rhythms are so fun to make. It's just, you don't have to worry about making sounds, you just drag in presets and go nuts. So we need one more thing. And what should it be? I think we need like a stab, like a ding. Just a stab chord at the start of each thing. So let's do another analog. Why not? It's gone well so far. Let's try. Maybe. Let's try something else. Maybe this. Simple. Let's record that in. Recording. All right, cool. That is about it. Now I'm gonna re-record this because I want to have it doing the I want to change the pattern. Okay, I'm gonna just quantize those. Now I know you can just do Control U just to quantize to whatever this is set to, but I like to open this up and just check. So I'm gonna fully quantize that. And that's pretty much the tune. So now what I'm going to do is go through, I'm going to let you watch me map this MIDI. It should be pretty simple. I'm just going to, map each of these 8 channels. And then we'll play around, add some little effects in that. So let's set up the MIDI mapping. So what I'm going to do is press Control and M. And it turns your screen blue. And then you've got the opportunity to map all your MIDI inputs and outputs. So let me just expand this so I can see everything, so I'm not messing around. And then all I'm going to do is minimize this bass channel. So we've got 8 tracks. Let's name them properly. Okay, Control and M. And then all you're going to do is click if this only works if you have a MIDI controller or a mix. If you don't, skip past this bit and we'll get straight into the dubbing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on each parameter. I'm going to move the fader on the mixer, and you'll see that little number's popped up there, and that means that it's linked here to this. All right, so we're going to do that with each track. Track 2, move fader 2. Track 3, move fader 3. Track 4, fader 4, and so on. 5, 6, nope, 7, 8. Okay. Now, the first thing, before I go any further and do any other changes, what I'm going to do is start playing this, play around with it, and I'm going to see where the volumes fit. And then what I'm going to do is set the maximum for my faders. I'm going to set the maximum value to where these all sound best. So what I'm going to do is expand this as high as possible, start it playing, and then I'm just going to go through and mix it. All right, that's about right. So now I'm going to reopen, Control and M. I'm going to reopen this. And now all I need to do is set the maximums to the value that's in this white box here. Because that's the value of that's where the volume fader is set. It's not where the volume's hitting, it's where the top of the fader is. So then I can just go click in the max box and change it to -4.1. I don't know if there's a faster way to do this. Next one, -3.8. So I just do it like this. The next one's -11 for the hats. So let's do -11. Percussion is at -11.6. You can go in and change this later as well if you want. Bassline track is at -5.7. The Skank is at -7.5. Let's scroll along a bit. Melody 1, 19.4, minus obviously. And then Melody 2 is at -12.3. Now, when I move these faders, they can't go any higher than the values that I've already set up here. Watch this. So it doesn't matter. I can put all these right to the top. I should have really had a camera on here, but I haven't. I can put all these to the top and they will not go too loud now. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is build some reverbs and stuff. First one I want to do is a delay. And my favorite, as you all know, is echo. Let's just find that echo. And I'm going to drag that into return track A. Echo, there we go. First thing I do, turn the dry wet all the way up. And then I'm going to play the snare track. No, I'm going to play the skank. So what I'm going to do is now listen to the skank with the delay on and then just change it while I'm listening to it. So what I need to do is go to this send here. If you don't have these, make sure this little S button here is activated. And then we're going to turn A all the way up and let's listen to that skank. Let's hear it with the drums. Simple. And then the next one I'm going to build is... Oh, we've got echo already in. Let's try... What do I want? I want a reverb now for this one. But we want a big reverb. I know I had these other way around, but it's cool. So again, put the reverb in return B. I hope I didn't do that too fast or anything. Turn the dry wet all the way up, as always. And then let's start playing around with this sound. Turn the send up. That's quite nice, let's hear it. I'm going to lower the volume of the Skank just a little bit. All right, so now we can dub. Should we make a third one? Let's put a third one in there. Let's put a delay. So what I need to do is right click on the top of this return track, insert return track. We've got return C now. Another knob's appeared here, return C. Let's do echo. But I'm going to make it way longer, straight. And let's listen to it on the Skank again. Ping pong, I'm going to do a big feedback, bit of reverb. Yeah, and I think that's enough. So we need to map these now. So again, I'm going to do Control and M, and I may speed this up, but now we need to go through and map each one of these to the knobs on here. So again, I'm going to click on the A there. I'm just going to turn the knob on my MIDI controller, and it's linked. So let's go all the way across. There we go. Second row. Again, I don't think there's an easy way to do this unless you build some kind of template. You could have your default template already set up with these controls. So you could make this, take out the music, and then these would already be set up every time. But it is what it is, it's up to you. I might show you how to make a template. And then that one. Okay. And that's it, we're ready to dub now. So we can minimize this. Let's crank this right up. All right. Shall we go? Let's go. Okay, and you can do it dancehall style. That's not working. I love it. All right, and that's it. That's digital dubbing in a nutshell. The only other thing I'd do is maybe put a siren in there. I'd probably add another section with some variation or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This has been how to make a digital rhythm or a digital dub, very much in the Skank style or something like that. Thanks again for watching. My name's Bosh. This has been Bosh's Beginner Bits, and I will see you next time. Ciao.